up, yo? This is Crazy Kwsei, and today you're watching Nomad. And today we're talking about pain. We're talking about a specific kind of pain. We're going to talk about the kind of pain that you feel when you feel like a piece of shit. The type of pain where you just feel like you're not valuable, like you can't be loved. That kind of pain. I want to just distinguish this from the type of pain that you get from like clinical depression, where it's a chemical imbalance, or maybe the loss of a loved one, things like that. This pain's about how you feel about yourself. And one of the reasons I want to talk about this is because it's so rampant in our culture, because we have so many things that are set up for us. Like we are a very rich, prosperous society. I'm talking about North American society, or North American civilization. And so a lot of the evils we face are actually psychological ones. A lot of the pains we face are psychological. And also for myself, I've gone through lots of pain and there's been lots of bad things that have happened to me. But I know the number one type of pain that I've felt has been internal, feeling like a piece of garbage. And I don't know, like sometimes when I tell people about my insecurities, when I feel like a piece of shit, they're like, how is that even possible? Like, you're a pretty good looking guy, you're pretty smart, whatever, you know, you're just so awesome. Everyone thinks I'm so awesome. Like, how is that possible? And I guess the reason is, it's just irrational. Like, most of my insecurities and most of other people's insecurities are irrational. And even if they're not irrational, they're always a waste of time, because they get in the way of you experiencing the world around you and the people around you. So, the source of this kind of pain is usually from resting your value in other people and waiting for other people to give you a source of value. We're waiting for people to be like, you are worthwhile, you are beautiful. When we rest our value in others, and when we rely on others for our source of self-value, there's two problems that come with that. One, it's really undependable. Because people, even if people love you, you can never truly just like always have positive affirmation coming your way. Anyone in family, you know this in family. It's like you can be surrounded by people that absolutely love you, adore you, but they're not going to make you feel great all the time. You can't rely on them. And also, even if they were sending it your way all the time, always positive, you can actually get too accustomed to that and overlook it. For example, myself, I struggle with insecurity for most of my life, and that's with the backdrop of me growing up with a single mother. I'm the only child of, kind of, and she loves me. Like I'm like the center of her life, my mom, and she was always saying, "Oh, Chris, you're beautiful, you're awesome," things like that. And I just like, I never believed her. I got so used to it that it didn't mean anything to me anymore. And another problem with relying on others for your sense of value is that sometimes people are going to see things about you and they're not going to like them, or they're going to think that there's something wrong with you or something ugly about you. And whether that's accurate or inaccurate or genuine or ingenuine or misplaced or not, you never know. But the point is, when someone makes a criticism about you and you rely on others for your value, it's going to tear you down. It's like the apocalypse. Like, as soon as someone says something negative about you, you're going to think about it so much. And if you struggle with insecurity, then this is probably something you know very well. Every time someone says something negative, or even something that you can interpret as negative that isn't necessarily bad, it just tears you down, it tears you apart. So from this problem, the solution is pretty clear. The solution is we find value within ourselves. Why? It's more reliable. We don't have the problems of the independability of others and the ability of others to tear us down. If we can find value in ourselves, then this sort of pain, like this sort of I feel like shit, I can't do anything, it doesn't come from outside of you, and it's all centered within yourself. And when it's centered in yourself, you can deal with that problem and you can take care of it. And you can say to yourself, you can look at yourself and say, I am beautiful, I can do this, I am worthwhile, I am lovable. And one of the good things that happens when you start to do this, and it's really difficult, this isn't an easy thing, like I struggled with this for months, learning how to love myself and to value myself, is that when you start to see yourself as beautiful, you start to act that out. You start to show yourself as beautiful. This ties into confidence, because you start to act out your beauty, because you're confident in it. And when you act that out, other people get to see your beauty as well. So it actually ends up, there's other people that are like affirming you as well, because you self-affirm, which is like this weird paradox Maybe I'll talk about that in another video. But anyways, yeah, so if you start to value yourself, it's dependable and it's sure. But how do we do that? How do we go from a place of like seeing yourself and only seeing the negative things about yourself to going to a place where you look at yourself and you say, I'm beautiful, I'm lovable, I'm worthwhile. This life that I live is worthwhile. I'm here for a reason. Well, one way to do this and one way that helps me is to see yourself as a piece of art. In a piece of art, there's some things that aren't necessarily flashy, aren't necessarily good, so to speak, but there's some ugly things, like in a movie. Like there's bad moments in movies. There's moments in movies where bad things happen to the main characters. But those things are made beautiful by the outcome, by how the character struggles through it. Same thing with you, like undoubtedly there's ugly things about you. Everyone's been hurt, there's scars in you, there's like damaged tissue in every one of our characters, and maybe our physical bodies as well. But if you can learn to see those things as beautiful, if you can step back and see yourself as a work of art, and accept yourself even with your flaws, even with your inadequacies, even with your defense mechanisms or whatever, then you start to see yourself as beautiful and valuable. So it's not just overlooking the ugly things and pretending that they're not there. That's not what confidence is. Confidence and loving yourself and valuing yourself starts when you start to look at the ugly things about yourself and the things that you fixate on in your state of insecurity and saying, you know what, those things are beautiful too. Alright, this is Kwsei. That's all I got for you. Do some like, subscribe, whatever. Digital love. Peace out.